My name is Alan Burse. I'm the minister of Paisley Abbey, and I extend a very warm welcome to you to the Abbey today. Well, the story of Christianity in Paisley really begins with St. Mirren. Many of Paisley citizens would consider St. Mirren, of course, as the football team, but here in the Abbey we remember him as the Irish monk who brought Christianity to the banks of the River Cart. And he probably came in the 6th century. Some 500 or so years after the time of St. Mirren, monks came from Wenlock in Shropshire at the invitation of Walter, the High Steward of Scotland, to build a monastery and what was then a priory church. And that happened in 1163. So the building we're standing in now is 852 years old, but is on the site of a much older Christian church. The Abbey was founded by Walter FitzAlan, who was the High Steward of Scotland. And the High Stewards of Scotland played an important part in the history of the Abbey. The name Steward was adopted by the hereditary High Stewards as their family name, as Stuart. And in time, another Walter married Marjorie Bruce, the daughter of King Robert de Bruce, and their son Robert became the first Stuart King of Scotland. And so the Stuart royal line began here in the Abbey. Shortly after the Battle of Bannockburn, King Robert de Bruce's daughter Marjorie married Walter, High Steward of Scotland. One day she was riding from Renfrew to Paisley, and she fell off her horse and was very seriously injured. She was brought to the Abbey because any medical help that was available would be here, and sadly they were unable to save Marjorie's life, but they were able to save the baby she was carrying, and that baby became King Robert II, the first of the Stuart kings. And Marjorie herself is buried here in the Abbey. So historians differ as to the birthplace of William Wallace, but we here in Renfrewshire firmly believe he was born in Elderslie, just outside Paisley. And as such, it is more likely than not that he would have been educated here in the Abbey by the monks of Paisley Abbey. The oldest object in the Abbey predates the building of the Abbey. It is the Barrington Cross, a typically Celtic standing cross that you can find in many places in Scotland, including, of course, Iona. It is probably 1,000 years old and originally stood in Houston.